So it's opening morning, October 1st here in Michigan. I'm about a 10-minute walk from my spot. I figured I'd give a little pregame check-in and see if we'll get it done. Well, we've got a breaking news development. I get a phone call probably about 8 o'clock on the nose, actually. Alex shot an 8-point, so he's got no one at home with him, so I'm gonna climb down here in a few and I'm gonna go help him out. So my hunt's coming to an end early, but pretty sweet, he got one. So I'll check in with you over there.
Well, it is October 1st, and as you can see by the bloody hands and the arrow, we got one hit. Hopefully he's toasted. I think I heard him crash, but we haven't found any blood yet or anything. We're just getting after him, so we're gonna walk along, see what we can come up with.
Well, as soon as we cut the clip off, he looks to the left, laying right here.
There wasn't spot for blood. Dude. Yes, that is freaking sweet.
Nuts.
I have no clue.
Wow.
I mean, the stand is 80 yards right there,
Yeah.
not even. Awesome, dude.
Congrats.
Thank you. There he is. Just a nice little basket 2-year-old 8-point. Awesome. God, there's blood here, but I don't know. I'll have to look around a little bit.
Tracking backwards.
Yeah. Oh, here's blood. So he must have stopped here when he turned back. I don't know. But still going.
Yeah.
This is be my third buck back here in the pines. I think my dad's only ever killed one, I think. Unbelievable. This buck come in this morning, and I'm pretty sure it was the same deer after looking at him. He came right before light. I could hear deer rubbing the trees and whatever, making scrapes. It was crazy. And he came in like literally right at first light, and I couldn't quite tell what he was. We have a lot of nice frame deer and a halfers, so I didn't want to risk shooting one of those. And by the time I realized what he was kind of walking away. It wasn't great. Ended up circling around us and then around me, and then came back about 20 minutes later with 2 other bucks. And he was sparring with a little buck right under my tree, and then just kind of turned around and gave me a nice cordon away shot, about 8 yards. So about exactly what I thought he was. I didn't know exactly how big, but I'm pretty tickled. That's awesome. October 1st behind my house. Can't complain with that. Got Wyatt behind the camera. First one of my deer we've recovered together. So.
Mm-hmm. You know what time it was roughly?
8. Right about 8 o'clock exactly.
Right.
And shooting light's 7:15, so
yeah.
I had deer around me for that long. So, all right, it's getting a little warm, so we're gonna get some pictures and get them cleaned up.
Well, we're here with the recap of the eventful morning, to say the least.
Yep.
It's his story to tell.
Yeah, so I'll start off with kind of what happened. Obviously, it's opening morning, October 1st. We had, for the last week, wind was calling for a southeast wind, south-southeast, which really is only good for one spot that we have. And we were having pictures of a 2-year-old 8-point in daylight, or my uncle was, about 150 yards from that spot for like the past 2 weeks. Honestly, all week I was thinking that there's a chance I was going to kill this buck. Now, I think it's a different deer. I don't know. But either way, all week I was playing. It was like I was very confident and it's odd because I'm usually never that confident back here. But I had confidence that I was gonna kill at that 2-year-old 8-point this morning. Got out this morning, got all the way back in the woods, and decided to walk all the way back here to make sure I closed this door because I was more worried about avoiding the in-ground sprinklers than I was getting out the door, and it was a disaster. And I just didn't want to have to worry about leaving the door open, whatever. So I came back, checked it, and I ended up getting hit by a sprinkler when I walked back here. So I was just mad. Burned about 10 minutes doing that. Got all the way back to my bow where I had left it, whatever. Went and got in the tree, and I didn't think I had disturbed anything. Sitting there for about 10 minutes, and all of a sudden I hear deer coming in behind me. And it was pretty obvious it was a couple bucks. I could hear them rubbing. They were rubbing on trees, sparring with each other, whatever. So I was like, all right, there's deer here. I didn't think they'd hang around. Well, they hung around for about 40 minutes, all right, up until shooting light. And right at like first light, this buck came in. It hit a scrape. We got some cool trail cam pictures of him. And I almost shot him. I binoed him and couldn't really tell what he was. I knew he was a decent frame buck, but we also have a couple stud 1.5-year-olders that are running around that we thought were, the not bucks I was going to shoot right now, but decent frame deer. And I'm like, I know it's a decent frame deer, but I don't know. Well, by the time I finally figured out that he was a shooter, he kind of started to work off back the way he came, and it didn't work out. Now, I was pretty bummed about it because I was like, I just blew a perfect opportunity. I should have a dead buck right now. Well, him and the other little buck ended up circling all the way around, what came within like 40 yards of me again and went off. And I tried grunting, tried doing a little rattling, and I don't really think it had anything to do with it. But about 20 minutes later, I sent some text, and I was actually typing out on Michigan Sportsman what happened when I saw a little buck coming back at me. And I actually thought it was a little buck or 2 little bucks and a doe. And it wasn't until the deer got all the way right under me that I realized that one of them was this nice buck again. And he made this huge scrape, was just tearing up dirt everywhere, right behind some trees from me. But I could see him kicking dirt, and I was using the binos through, and I could see his main beams, and I'm like, that's that same buck from this morning. Then he starts fighting with a little buck, like right under my stand. They were like at 8 yards away, sparring, whatever. Well, they turn and start to walk by me, kind of like, not really where we expect them to be, but like 8 yards. The little buck walks out, quartering away perfect, then here comes that bigger buck. Well, I click on and get drawn as he come, and he kind of stopped with his, with his head behind a tree. And I was actually drawn on him, and it was perfect. And I'm looking at him like, do I want to kill this deer or whatever? I was like, I don't want to screw this up. Like, if he walks away and I decide I want to shoot him again, I'm very indecisive when I'm going to kill a deer. It's a bad habit I have. I don't just kill him. I think too hard about it. He popped his head back up, and I could see that clean 8-point. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let it fly. So I tucked that pin right back behind his shoulder and let it go, and just absolutely drilled him. I knew he was toast. And he ran about, I thought he ran like 80 yards. It was more like 60, 65. And I heard him stop, and then the classic, stop for 5 seconds and then do a bunch of crashing like these long hit, like he paused and then fell. Called my mom, texted my dad because he's at school, called Wyatt, called my uncle, went down, got the arrow, and he was toast. I got these new fixed blade broadheads this year. They're from Wasp, and this is the drone. And I got the Test 3-pack. I got the drone, the what's it called, the Havilon, and then the new Mortem. I shot them all last night, and they all flew pretty good, which I was really happy about. I was hoping that they all flew good, so I don't have to order more. So I have 3. Now I'm down to 2. This one's a little chipped up, but the way it kind of anyone that's like shot a deer out, that shoulder kind of acts as like I don't know, it almost holds that blood in a little bit because that blood is hard to exit out the shoulder and then drop down, especially with that leg moving back and forth, and just kind of holds it in there. So the only blood we could find was right where the deer died. We were just following along where I knew he went, and looked up, and he was laying right there. But
yeah, you can see it on the clip. I cut the clip off, and I'll put it in the video, but within 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was right. We cut it, and we're looking around. I'm like, hey, there he is. He's right there. She didn't even go as far as I thought he did. I'm surprised I didn't see him fall from the tree. But I was very impressed with the head itself. It would have been interesting to see if I had double lung the deer, if it would, or I did double lung him, but without the shoulder, kept it behind. If there would have been more blood, I'm sure there would have been. But overall, pretty impressed. If I would have shot it with a rage, I'm sure it would have been a paved runway of blood. but I might not have had a pass through either. So, but I think he's probably going to be about 100 inch, probably a little less. I don't think he'll probably won't make it to 100, but if he does, it'll be awesome.
He's a very even deer.
Yeah,
color's consistent throughout the horns.
Super symmetrical, dark. I posted on Sportsman. That's what a lot of people said was like that. His nose is really dark and his head's really dark. So that place is tore up back there. I'm tickled pink with that buck. There's definitely, I'm sure, bigger ones running around, but to shoot a buck with a bow back here, it doesn't happen very often, especially a 2-year-old. So,
well, now that you got this one out of the way, what's the plan for the rest of the year?
Well, tomorrow we're going down to the farm, probably just for the morning hunt because it looks pretty rainy. And then the following weekend we'll be going down there the whole week as well, or the whole weekend. Honestly, after this, I don't know how much I'll hunt in the next couple weeks. I'm just going to be waiting on a big buck, but I do have 3 doe tags, so I'm going to try to shoot some does.
Get picky.
Yeah, definitely on the bucks. I won't be doe hunting this weekend or tomorrow down there. I might try to shoot a doe the following weekend. But yeah, ideally I want to shoot one more deer with my bow. My goal was to shoot a buck and a doe with my bow this year, and I obviously got half of that out of the way.
Yeah.
I should be able to stick a doe sometime. It's just going to be determined when it gets to November. It's tough. It's like, do you want to risk screwing up a hunt shooting a doe, or do you want to just buck hunt when the time is right? You know?
Yeah.
But be something we figure out. But I probably won't kill another deer back here. If I try to Allegan County doe hunt, it'll be elsewhere at this point, I'm sure. But now it's on to getting you a deer. You going out tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning, yeah. Evenings are just too hot. I don't
Too hot.
want to mess with her right now.
That's the weird thing about early season. You generally think of the evening as being better, hunting food sources. But right now, it was like 52 degrees when I got in the stand, and there was bucks everywhere. All the trail cam pictures we have of daylight deer in the morning here right now. Just too hot at night, but it's still really cool, and it feels like late October in the mornings. So that's kind of, I think, what the pattern is at the moment.
It's a really nice morning.
Yeah, it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So. Tickled Pink, got him loaded up. He's in the cooler now. We're going to show him off to some people later tonight and then get him taken care of. So, thanks for joining me. Thanks for helping.
My pleasure.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we can do it again sometime soon. So,
Alrighty.
All right.